I'll take a minute to tell you that about the tool, how we can interact. So I have muted all of you. You are muted by the organizer. We will not be able to put any question through voice. So you have a chat window where you can put on your questions. If you have any doubt, any question, any query that you have, I'm going to take breaks in between the session or in between the topics, and during those breaks I'll try to answer all the questions. Of course, we have a constraint of time. We have only 1 hour, and 45 minutes is something where we are going to discuss about all the topics and the PMP, Prince2, ACP, and all this. And towards the end, we have kept 15 minutes for Q&A session, where I'm going to answer all of your questions. Of course, I may not be able to answer all the questions, but please be assured that you will receive a proper response to every query that you raise. We can reach out to you through email after the session. Before we start the session, I will just take a quick few minutes to introduce myself. I'm Nishant Shukla, and I'm based out of Bangalore, India, and I've been into this. I started my professional journey almost 23 years back and worked in several organizations like East India Hotels, Hewlett-Packard, Cisco, DZ Cards, at different positions across various industries, various domains, and for past more than 11 years, I've been doing this training. I have held various positions from project management, program management, portfolio management, and I used all that learning and all that hands-on experience into the training that I used to impart. I had started imparting around 10 years back. I have traveled across the globe in training to train people, and I conduct training in both virtual and classroom environment. And if you have any question, anything that you want to know about myself, about my transition from the regular business role or business position to this training, please feel free to reach out to me. You will get my contact details, my email address at end of the session, and also in the mail that you're going to receive. So I've been doing this PMP training for a lot of time, and people normally in the session used to ask this various questions. So I thought it would be a good idea to host a webinar where I can answer all the basic questions, and I can help people take a decision which certification to go for. So let's start. Let's review the agenda, what we have. I have kept it very short and crisp here. I did not want to include all that information about the PMP, about the PMBOK, but here are the very, very basic topics. Introduction to PMI, what is PMI, what is a project and project management, what is the difference in PMP, PMI, ACP, and certification. So this is a very burning and very hot question that almost everyone has in his mind when they decide to go for a certification. So we will address these pointers, we'll address this question here. And then we talk about the PMP certification, what is PMP and what is the eligibility criteria for PMP. This is another area where people have a lot of doubts whether I'm eligible for PMP or not. I'm into this industry, I'm into this role, whether I can go for PMP and how it will help me. And myths about PMP examination. PMP certification. People have a lot of information, through a lot of sources, and it's very difficult to decide whether these sources are the authenticated sources or not. So we will try to demystify some of the facts about PMP examination, and last, how much time is needed to prepare for the PMP examination. So I'm going to present you a complete plan, complete strategy, which you can use, which you can customize and start using for your own PMP journey. So that is the crisp agenda that we have for the day, and with this we start our session with the agenda topic. So the first slide we have is about PMI. What is PMI and what do they do? The PMI was established in 1969 in Pennsylvania, United States. And since then, PMI has been working consistently towards upliftment of the project management community and project management practices across the world. There were earlier when PMI was or PMBOK was not there. It's not that organizations were not running. It's not that there were no projects. There were projects, there were companies, they were doing heavy and huge projects, but there was no standardization. With emergence of PMI, uh, companies and organizations started benefiting from the standardization that it brought in together. And to promote career and professional development, PMI offers various certifications like PMP, PGMP, which is for program management, PFP, which is for portfolio management, PMI ACP, which is into agile certification, agile practice, and they have some other certifications like risk management professional, scheduling management professional, and a lot of other information. If you have any question, you want to know more about PMI, you can log into their website at www.pmi.org. And they have given all the description and all the details about each and every certification. You can go through that, you can scroll through that. So moving further, yeah, it's very important to understand before we get into the certification or talk about all this training courses that we have, it is very important to understand what is a project and what is a project management, because these answer to these questions or the definition of these two elements is going to answer a lot of your questions that you may have around project and project management, and also in the PMP certification, and also to take a decision whether to go for PMP or for Prince2 or for Agile certification. So let us understand what is a project. So the definition of the project as per PMI written in PMBOK, I'll talk about what is PMBOK in some time. Project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. So this definition highlights the key characteristics of a project, which is temporary in nature. It means it has to start one day, it has to end one day. Duration can be short, duration can be long, but it has to end one day. Okay, the duration can be as short as 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, 10 days, 1 month, or it can go on to 1 year, 2 year, 15 years as well. NASA is planning to send a manned mission on Mars sometime in 2029, and that's a project. Huge project, long project, but it is going to end on one day. They have defined an end date for that. And the output of your temporary endeavor has to be unique. If the output is not different than any of the previous output, then it's simply reinvention of wheel, which will not qualify this activity to be a project. So the outcome has to be unique. And the third one is progressive elaboration. So progressive elaboration is very crucial with respect to project. As you move ahead in the project, as you step forward in the project, you get more details around the scope, around what is to be done. You get clarity on the initial concept. Like initially, you may have some information, we want to construct a house. As you move ahead, you know that, okay, this house will be in a plot of 3,000 square feet. It is going to have 4 bedrooms. It will have a garage. It will have a swimming pool. As you move ahead, you will get more details around it. Okay, you require exactly 6 months to construct that house. You require exactly X amount of rupees or X amount of dollars to develop that house, to construct that house. So that is called as progressive elaboration. So these three characteristics defines a project. Okay. And a lot of questions can be answered with this definition. People ask this question, I work in this industry, I work in supply chain, I work in retail, I work in manufacturing, I work in banking and finance domain. Can I take the PMP examination certification? Is it the right course for me? So we will go through all those questions towards the later part of this presentation, and but we will refer back to this definition that we have. Okay. So I hope everyone is clear with this. If you have any doubt, any questions, please feel free to put in the chat window. It will come to me, and at an appropriate logical break, I will answer those questions. Okay. So once you have a project, then you need to start managing the project. Once you have identified what is to be done, once you have identified an activity which has a start and end, you need to start using the project management. And project management is a application of knowledge, skills, and tools and techniques. This is again a definition given to us by PMI, which is derived from PMBOK, which is Project Management Body of Knowledge. So project management is the application of knowledge. What is knowledge here? Knowledge about the processes, knowledge about the project management, what methodology we are going to use, what roadmap you are going to use, your skills. Skills are very important. I'm sure everyone must have gone through some of the job sites at some point of time. We keep getting some requirement calls from the consultant. And if you're applying for the project manager's position, one of the prerequisites for that, you must be good in communication. You must be good in written and verbal communication. Okay, a good negotiator. Why we need to have this? Because as a project manager, you're supposed to manage your stakeholders. Almost 80% of the time of the project manager must go or should go towards communication. Communicating with whom? With the various stakeholders. And who are the stakeholders? Any individual, any person or a group of people or organization who can influence the project or who can get influenced by the outcome of the project is a stakeholder. And each stakeholder may have a different expectation from the project. For example, your customer is a stakeholder. Your senior management team is a stakeholder. Your team members are your stakeholders. Your vendor is a stakeholder. And each one comes with a different set of expectations from this project. So we need to have the appropriate skills to manage expectations of the stakeholder. And project manager not be like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie Commando, where he's loaded with all kinds of arms and ammunition, and he goes and start killing each and every enemy that is coming his way. Project manager may not have those heavy duty machine guns or grenade launcher on his back, but project manager must rely on certain tools and techniques. Okay, we talk about the processes, we talk about the different trackers, different Excel sheet which capture the information around the associated with the project. So a PM must use that information appropriately and apply certain techniques to interpret that information, which can help him taking certain decisions about the project. Okay, so that is the project management. Now the question comes, where exactly we are going to use this project management? Where we are going to apply our knowledge, our skills, or the tools and techniques. And that you are going to ensure that you always strike a right balance among these competing factors of the project, which are time, cost, and quality in the center of it. So what you see here on your screen is a balanced triple constraint. Why I say balance? Because you can see all the elements are perfectly aligned, and what you get to see is a proper triangle. This is your balanced triple constraint. It looks easier said than done. That is what we have to do. A project manager has to balance all these factors, but it's not that easy. And I can vouch for it that it has given me so many sleepless nights. A lot of you who are working or who have been associated with some kind of project at some point of time, they must have experienced these kind of challenges there. With the help of a proper methodology, with the help of proper roadmap, with the help of proper guidelines, we can make this journey slightly easier. Of course, you need to top it up with your general project management skills, your communication skills. But these tools and methodologies will help you in understanding what are the challenges. We can have effective control on the project. Okay. So talking about the methodology, this is the place where most of the people have a very common, a standard question that which one to use? Shall I go for Prince2? Shall I go for PMP? Shall I go for PMBOK? Okay, so let's understand that difference here. So one of the misconceptions around these methodologies is that PMBOK guide is a methodology. No, PMBOK guide is not a methodology, but PMBOK guide is a collection of processes, tools, which organizations or individuals or the project manager can pick and choose and build their own methodology based on it. So PMBOK guide provides you knowledge. PMBOK guide provides you the standard practices, the best practices which are being used across the industry, across various domains, across the globe. PMBOK guide has been developed by PMI, and they collected inputs from all the professionals across the globe to build PMBOK guide. This PMBOK guide provides you a knowledge-based approach to manage the project. As you can see here in the picture itself, there are different pieces available to you. You need to pick and choose what is relevant for your industry, what is relevant for your domain, what is relevant for your organization, and you build your own methodology. Whereas Prince2 is a full defined, completely defined methodology. Okay. There are set processes, there are set guidelines which you need to understand and you need to start using them. Of course, it gives you some flexibility, but not as flexible as PMBOK guide can be. So there are some standard processes, there are some standard way of doing it, and you must follow that. You must use that as defined in the Prince2 methodology. As I told you, PMBOK guide has been devised or has been built by collecting inputs from all the professionals across the globe, and Prince2 was devised by UK government for the governance of IT project. So a lot of people ask this question that which one to use, where to go, which is the right certification for them. So I hope this will give you some clarity that what is the basic difference in these two terms, PMBOK guide and Prince2 methodology. Okay, and you can use this information to take certain decision about your future progress and career path as well. Okay. Moving on from methodology, we need to talk about the certifications that we have, and it's very important to understand how this methodology that we have, that we talked about, is rolled down to the certifications. PMP Project Management Professional or Prince2 certification, which is based on the Prince2 methodology, both follow the traditional approach, which is waterfall methodology, where processes are defined in sequential method. Okay. When I say sequential, means you have set processes, you have complete clarity on what is to be delivered. When you have absolute clarity on how the final product is going to look like, you can decide to use either your PMBOK approach or methodology built based on the PMBOK or the methodology given to you by the Prince2. Both of them follow the sequential processes to design, build, develop, and deliver your project. Okay, so you have absolute clarity on scope. On the other hand, we have PMI ACP certification, which follows your iterative or adaptive approach, or which is based on the agile methodology. So agile methodology is used in those projects, in those industries where you do not have absolute clarity on how the final product is going to look like. Customer may not have clarity that, okay, what is it that they want? So sometimes they can say, okay, as we move ahead, we will get clarity that what is it which is going to fulfill our requirement and use it. It's like as simple as that. You decided to go out for ice cream. You want to, after your dinner, you want to go out and go to the ice cream parlor and have some ice cream. So you have decided that you will have ice cream, but you tell them, okay, once we reach to the ice cream parlor, then we are going to look at the different flavors, and then we will decide which flavor I want. So that is called as your iterative planning or adaptive planning. Okay. So to conclude these two slides, PMP and Prince. PMP is based on methodology built using processes defined in PMBOK guide. And Prince2 uses Prince2 methodology, which is a full-fledged developed methodology. Both of them follow your traditional waterfall approach. Okay. PMI ACP uses agile methodology where it gives the flexibility to the customer to change the scope, and the team can also work very closely with the stakeholder or with the customer to ensure that the requirements, the changing requirements are being fulfilled and are incorporated into the product or the work that they're doing. So it uses adaptive approach. Okay. The key difference or the advantage of PMI ACP or the agile methodology is it gives a lot of flexibility to the customer to change the scope. So the team, of course, within boundaries will define what are different iterations they are going to have. At an end of each iteration, the team will incorporate the feedback from the customer and from other stakeholders. And based on that, they will define the word, or they will plan the next iteration, what is the work to be done in the next iteration, and work or the project is delivered in different phases and in steps. Okay, so that is the key difference in your PMI ACP certification and your PMP or Prince2 certification. So I hope it is clear to everyone, and I can see some questions are being popped up here. And let me just take a minute here and to answer this question. Amardeep has asked a question. In project definition, the end result has to be a unique product, service, or result. Why unique? Amardeep, I'm so sorry. Amardeep, if the outcome of the project is not unique, it means we are reinventing the wheel. It means we are doing the work which has already been done at some point of time. For example, I'm a builder, and my job is to construct the residential apartments. Okay, I have constructed one apartment, I finished that, and then I start working on my next apartment. So you can see the difference. What is unique about the next apartment? The layout may be the same, the dimensions may be the same, the facilities may be the same, everything will be the same, but my customers may be different. The location at which I'm going to construct that house will be different. And that uniqueness is something that may prompt you to make certain relevant changes in the way you're going to create your project, the way you're going to plan your project, or the deliverables of the project. Okay, so if it is not unique, it means not a valid project. Okay, if Samsung has come up, if Apple has released iPhone 6 Plus, next in future they are going to release a phone iPhone 7. If iPhone 7 has exactly the same feature and specifications as there in iPhone 6, then it cannot be a new product. It cannot be a new variant of that phone. It means it is just a copy of a replica of the product which was designed and developed last year. That's why it has unique. And I have a question from Vijay, and Vijay is asking which certification is in more demand in US market today. Okay, so okay, let me get back to this here. And I mentioned that PMBOK is developed by the professionals from across the globe, and Prince2 is devised by the UK government for the management of their IT governance project. So of course, PMP is popular across the globe, which it has a very dominant presence in US, across all the industries in US, be it healthcare, be it manufacturing, be it aerospace, be it IT. IT anyway is very popular, and it has accepted and adopted PMP certification very well, but it is prominent in all the industry and in US. Prince2 is more popular in European country, specifically in UK. So Shiv raised a point that, but iPhone will have new customers though. Yes, definitely they will have a new customer. So there is nothing which is repeated, not nothing, but most of the things are new in this phone. Along with the feature, they will have a different customer, or maybe they may decide to target a new segment of the customer in the new product, and that new feature or characteristic, or even the different segment of the customer, may prompt the design team to design the product in such a way that it is very well accepted by all the customers, of the segment which is being targeted. Okay, so I hope I've been able to answer all your questions. If you have some doubt, please keep prompting me here, and I'll ensure that your queries are being answered. You get all the answers to your question. And with this, we move on to the next big question: which certification to go for? Of course, this is a key question why everyone is here. And the answer to this question is there is nothing right or wrong. It depends on multiple factors. It depends on the future plan of the professional. Let's say if you decide, if you plan to shift to UK sometime, then I would suggest that go for Prince 2. If you are working in an industry where the requirements or the market dynamics keep changing very fast, then you must learn the agile methodology. You must go for ACP certification. If you work in a standard environment, or you work in a typical project environment, irrespective of these factors, whether you're in IT or you're in non-IT, then PMP definitely is a very good option. And PMP is also considered to be the topmost certification that we have. Okay, I am getting few more questions here. Naren has asked, I'm a developer and I'm interested in doing both Agile and PMP. And is it suggestible to do both of them? Naren, yes, definitely. See, if you look at this slide, PMBOK guide is a knowledge-based approach, where Prince2 is a process-based approach. So both of them have a different approach towards a project. In some industry, let's say you work in a customer-centric environment. Right now you're working for a customer X, which is in US. And the kind of product you're developing is require a traditional waterfall approach. You have everything finalized and you really cannot afford any changes in between. You may decide to go for PMP certification, but if you decide to work for next customer, which is working on an IT project sort of UK, then of course your Prince2 will have a lot of advantages there. So there are hundreds of, or I should rather say thousands of professionals who have done both the certifications, and both are useful. One is not a supplement of another one. Both certifications complement each other. Okay? Because different industries have different requirement, different environment, and if you have both the certification, definitely you can cater to all the requirements that you have. Okay, I hope your question is answered. And if you have any further question, please let me know. Okay. Is there any equivalent demand to Prince2 and PMP, asked by Shrikant? I'm sorry, I didn't get your question very clearly. Is there an equivalent demand? Equivalent demand means you want to know about which certification is more popular, or both are equally demanded by the demanded in the industry. So to answer both of these questions, I would say there is no specific answer for this, that PMP is more popular or Prince2 is more popular. Of course, Prince2 is more IT-centric certification. If you work in a specific IT application development and the customer or your organization is providing the services in European region, then Prince2 has more advantages. Otherwise, you can go for PMP. Okay. If you look at the number, definitely PMP has the highest number of professionals across the globe, close to 654,000 PMPs across the globe, where Prince2 is around 10 to 15% of that. So that defines and that answers the questions as well. And with this, we need to move on to the next slide, and I have all of your questions, and I'll ensure that during the next logical break, I'm answering all those questions that we have. So I hope all of you have some clarity towards which certification to go for. With this, we move on to the next which talks about the PMP certification. From here, we will change the course of our discussion towards the PMP certification. So PMP certification is recognized across the globe, across the industries, across the domain, be it healthcare, be it manufacturing, be it IT, be it IT governance, or any industry you think of. wherever there is an element of project in the work that you do, your PMP certification will help you. Okay, PMP certification is selling like hotcake. It is one of the most demanded certification. Of course, other certifications are catching up, but PMP holds its place very clearly, distinctively there. Okay, and this certification demonstrates that the professional has the experience, education, and competency to lead and direct the project. One of the myth, of course, the slide will come later, but let me put a pointer here. One of the popular myth around this is the moment you become PMP certified, you will immediately see that the world changed. That is not going to happen, but it definitely will help you in achieving or growing up the ladder in your career. Okay, you look for a change, you look for a different projects within the organization. Of course, you can demand better salaries because you are PMP certified and you have demonstrated that you have the experience, education, and knowledge to lead and direct the complex projects as well. Okay. And it is recognized by almost all the industries across the globe. So what is the criteria? What are the prerequisites for that? And Atma, I got your question. How long it will take to complete the course and certification? We have a slide in the last where we will talk about this, and you'll get a detailed answer to your question there. Okay, I'll just park your question for a few minutes right now, and we'll see. And so a few people have raised their hands. Let me just go through that and see. Okay, fine. So prerequisite for PMP exam is if you have a bachelor's degree, if you're an engineer or if you're a graduate or you have global equivalent of that, you need to have 4,500 hours of project management experience accumulated in minimum 36 months, past 36 months. Okay. If you are not a degree holder, if you do not have a graduation degree or bachelor's degree, or you have only high school diploma and any other associate degree, then you need to have 7,500 hours of project management experience accumulated or earned in past in minimum 60 months, during 60 months time. Okay. How come this 36 months comes into the picture? So on an average in a year, you get around 17 to 1800 hours of work. So so PMI has put a condition there that you need to have minimum 36 months of experience. If you have 3.5 years of experience, that makes you eligible to appear for the PMP examination. An important point to understand here that if you have, let's say, 15 years of experience, you cannot say that, okay, I handled a project in 2001 and 2002 and I want to write that experience, I want to add that experience here in my form. No, that experience must be from projects done in past last 8 years only. Okay. So if you are a degree holder, you need to have 4,500 hours of experience. If you're not a degree holder, then you need to have 7,500 hours of experience topped up with 35 contact hours of project management education. So we are going to talk about this project management education or this training later in the later part of this webinar. And PMP examination pattern. Okay, so let me answer this question here. One of the question, Rohit has asked this question that I'm a developer for past 6 years. Can I appear for the examination? Yes, PMI does not expect you to be a designated project manager to be able to take this PMP examination. Even if you were a developer or a tester, you must have worked in or contributed towards a project. Okay, so there might be a large team and you were just a small part of it, but you contributed some efforts towards this project, and that effort will be counted as your project management experience, and which you will need to document in your application form. Okay, and so to answer your question precisely, yes, you are eligible and you can appear for the examination. I have another question from Vijay on top of Rohit's question. What kind of audit will they do? So PMI picks up 20% of the applications for audit, and this 20% is a random number. Okay, the moment you submit your application, I'll talk about this process, PMI is going to pick up 20% of the applications for the audit. And when the application is picked up for the audit, then you need to provide all the documentation in support of that you have documented there. So I can guide you later on towards this correct process for this. And if you want to know more details about it, you can go to our website, Edureka website, and let me just quickly show you what I'm trying to explain here. You go to Edureka website, Edureka/PMP, and you scroll down on the PMP page, and here you will see a link. This link will take you to official PMP handbook on PMI web, which is going to answer all of your questions around PMP examination, the application procedure, and also the audit process. Okay. PMP examination pattern is it's a computer-based examination. A lot of countries have facility of paper-based exam as well. So paper-based exam is conducted in those regions where there is no prominent center within the vicinity of 250 miles. Okay, so there you can go for a paper-based examination. In this examination, there are 200 multiple choice questions, and again, one of the myth is that there are 25 pre-test questions, or PMI is not going to consider your score for 25 questions. Yes, that is true. Out of this 200 questions, 175 are for the final marking, and 25 questions are the pre-test questions. Pre-test questions means PMI checks before they add question into the final examination paper, they will check the question, the complexity of the question, and they will also check the adoption of that question, whether people are able to answer that question or not. Suppose out of 100 people, 99 people could not answer the question correctly, then it may be considered as a very tough question, so PMI may decide not to include this question in the final marking question. So that's the purpose of this, and there is no negative marking. Okay, and if you opted for a computer-based examination in a prometric center, you will get the result immediately. If you have opted for a paper-based examination, that it may take more than 2 weeks time also, depending on your location, depending on the demography of that area. You may get, it may take more than 2 weeks time to get to know the result. But if you go for prometric center, the moment you submit your exam, within a minute's time, you will get the result that congratulations, you have cleared the exam. Okay, you can see a few more questions popping up here. Okay, so let me just go to towards the end of the slide deck, and I'm sure all these questions will be answered there. So this is the area where most of the people were looking for, that what is the ideal time for preparation, how long they should study, how much time they should devote in this, what is the process. So the first thing that I will suggest everyone is to go and become member of PMI. You can do that by paying a fee of $139 US using your credit card, international credit card. If you want, you can take the membership of your local PMI chapter as well. Okay. The advantage of taking PMI membership is the moment you become member, you get access to the soft copy of latest PMBOK guide. So PMBOK guide is Project Management Body of Knowledge, and the latest edition for this PMBOK guide is 5th edition. So the moment you become member, you get access to the soft copy of the PMBOK guide, and that PMBOK guide will be very handy when you come and PMP training. And then the next step is you should go and attend the PMP examination, PMP exam preparation training. So you can see here, Edureka will be there with you right from the beginning towards the end, and providing you support and assistance in all sphere and all phases towards your certification journey. So you can opt for an online training provided by Edureka. You attend the training, and you will have access to the soft copy of PMBOK, so you can keep going through that also. And once you finish your training, then go ahead and submit your application form. I have not mentioned any timeline here because that is on your discretion, how much time you want to take. You need to check your availability, whether you will be able to study or devote proper time to this or not. Submit your, then you go to pmi.org website, and at the appropriate link, which I can share with you later on, download the form, or you can submit this application online as well. Once you submit your application, then PMI is going to verify this application, and within maximum 5 business days, you will get a response from PMI. Application has been verified, and you can go ahead and make the payment. And then you need to go and make the payment of $405 US if you have taken a PMI membership. The moment you submit your payment, within some time, you're going to receive the notification if your application is picked up for audit. And if your application is picked up for audit, then it may take around 2 to 3 weeks time for you to fulfill all the requirements, and PMI will notify you of the process, of the audit process. Okay, Sandeep and Bhupesh, I got your question. Give me just a minute and I'm going to answer your questions. Okay. Okay, so Bhupesh's question is quite relevant for this stage. What if one could not qualify? So PMI will ask you to fulfill certain requirements. You need to submit some document in support of your experience, and they will do the reference check also. In case anyone fails to clear that audit, then PMI is going to refund $305, and PMI will keep $100 towards the administrative charges. But of course, it's not that, okay, you know, they're very stringent in this, but they will give you proper time and they will notify you of the detailed process. So the important point is, when you submit your application, before you do that, please check from the people whose reference you are given in this application. We really do not have luxury of time to take you through the entire application process, but please feel free to get in touch with me after the session, and I'll help you and guide you and assist you in understanding the entire process. Okay, so if your application is rejected, your PMI will refund $305 after deducting $100 for the towards the administration charges. And in case your application is not picked up for the audit, then after you make the payment and the payment is accepted and it reaches to PMI, you will receive a notification from PMI, and then you can go ahead and schedule your examination. So Edureka is there in your application and audit during the application and audit process as well. We have some templates which will help you fulfill examination form, and we will also guide you how you should write it, how you should fill it, so your application is not picked up for audit explicitly. Okay, and during audit, whatever documentation are required from the training perspective, Edureka is going to provide you a certificate of the training that you're going to attend. Okay. Once you receive an email from PMI, I'm assuming your application will go through the audit process, and then you receive the email from PMI. You follow that link which is there in the mail and schedule your examination, PMP exam. You can select the prometric center in your city or nearby cities. Suppose you are in a tier 2 city. Let's say you are in at a place where there is no PMI prometric center in your city. You need to look for the nearby city and block your examination. And once you block the examiner, okay, another point is, the day you receive notification from PMI that your application has been approved, from that date you will have 1 year to take up the PMP examination. So go ahead, schedule the exam, and the ideal time is 2 to 3 weeks of studies, continuous study. A lot of people say while you're studying there, you know, you must do a lot of mock questions, but I suggest that first you focus, first 2 weeks or 3 weeks, focus only on study, and then you change your approach, change your strategy, and then you start doing your studies along with a mock test. And you need to do a lot of mock tests here. So during the study, you will get the personalized guidance from SME, by an SME from Edureka. And when you reach to a stage where you are ready to take the mock test, we will assist you in that. We have more than 1,000 mock questions on our LMS, and you will also get, once you attend the session, you will also get recording of that session, lifetime access to the recording of that session on our LMS. You'll also get access to more than 1000 questions. On top of everything, you will have 24/7 assistance there. So idle time for taking the examination is you should not wait too long to take the examination. After you have finished the training, you should go for the examination within 8 weeks time, because that is the time when the momentum of the studies will be very high, and you have to ensure that the momentum is very high. Okay. So start working on it. And of course, I'm going to tell you later on post webinar, you can send me your queries. I'll tell you, how you should study, what all you should study, how you should prepare, and then you go and take the examination and become PMP certified. Once you are a PMP certified, then that certification will be valid for 3 years time, and at end of 3 years you need to again renew your certificate. For that you need to earn 60 PDUs. In the next slide I'm going to explain what is the difference in contact hours and PDUs. So there are a lot of courses, training courses which you can do, which will help you on PDU. So PDU is professional development unit. 1 hour spent towards any officially recognized project management activity recognized by PMI is going to give you 1 PDU, and you need to earn 60 PDUs to renew your certification. And you complete all the trainings and fulfill, and then you'll be able to renew your PMP certification. And Edureka is going to provide you support throughout this journey, not only in achieving this credential, which is a major milestone of the professional career, but also in maintaining those that's our credentials as well. Okay, and I can see a few more questions coming up now. Okay, so Vijay has asked, will the fees be refunded? Yes, Vijay, the fees will be refunded, but after deducting $100, okay, towards the administrative charges. And let me look at other questions. Atma has asked, can I have the recording? Yes, you are going to receive the recording of this presentation after the session gets over. Maybe 2 to 3 hours time you'll receive the mail, or maybe in some time. And so Atma, I hope I answered your next question as well, how long it will take to complete the course and the certification. So this gives you the complete perspective, and it also tells you, gives you the idealistic timeline to become a PMP. So Sandeep has asked, are there any other benefits of PMI membership, such as discounted exam cost? Yes, if you are a member, if you are a PMI member, the fee for the PMP exam is going to be $405. If you decide not to take PMI membership and straight away go to apply for the PMP examination, then you need to pay $555 as an examination fee. Okay, so should I still become a member, Sandeep? I would strongly suggest that you become a PMI member, because by becoming a member you get access to a lot of forums and a lot of platform. And most importantly, unfortunately, let's say if rarest of rare possibility that you are not able to clear it in the first attempt, then you will, within that 1 year's time, you can reappear for the examination. And when you go for the re-examination, if you are a member, the fee is going to be $275. Else you need to pay a fee of $375. Of course, I will not suggest you to keep that thing in mind that, if I don't clear, I'll have the second chance. No, you have to keep your focus and target on clearing this examination in go. Positive is going to attract the positive. So don't even think about that. But having said that, I would say go and become a member. Okay. Okay, so yes, Sandeep, I hope I answered your second question as well. There is the additional fee to reschedule the examination. And Nagarjuna, the course content is for version 5. Yes, the latest version of the PMBOK is 5th edition. And Jitendra has asked if you schedule exam and before taking the, okay, so very important question. At 3 years, PMI comes up with the latest edition or the updated edition of the PMBOK. So the current edition of the PMBOK is going to be valid till 31st December 2015. 1st January 2016, PMI is going to release the 6th edition of PMBOK. But for those people who already did a training in 5th edition, they will get time till 31st July 2016. So the cutoff date for the examination based on 5th edition and 6th edition is 31st July. From 1st August 2018 onwards, the examination will be based on 6th edition of PMBOK. Okay, so I hope I answered your question, Jitendra. And Bhaskar has a question. Most of the time, people refer to different book, PMBOK, Rita. Can we follow only Edureka study material? Yes, you can definitely follow the way we have devised our education, our study material. You need not to read any other book, but do not even think of going for PMP examination without reading the PMBOK guide. You can attend this training, you can do this training, go through this course content that we have, but I would never ever suggest you go for the examination without reading PMBOK. If our course content, or any, for that matter, any other book in this world is going to give you the food, then PMBOK is a additional vitamins and nutrients. You must not think of going for the PMP examination without reading PMBOK. Okay. So Sanjay Pandey has asked this question: is renewal means appearing for the exam again? No. Need not to reappear for the examination. If you have been able to earn 60 PDUs, then you need to go and pay a renewal fee of $150 depending on your membership status. If you are a member, okay, PMI membership is valid only for 1 year. If at the time of renewal or renewing your certification, if you are a PMI member, you need to pay $150 as the renewal fee. Sorry, $120 as the renewal fee. But if you are not a member, then you need to pay $150. And Sarvan and Sandeep, okay, Sarvan has a question: what kind of audit do they do? And Sarvan, I'll park your question right now. Let me finish this with this slide and some other things. And Sandeep also has a question: are training sessions live or recorded? No, Sandeep, they are live sessions, live instructor-led sessions where you can ask questions, you can interact with the trainer as well. You will, once you complete the session, you are going to receive the recording as well. Okay, and Rohit has asked one more question: but what if I miss any of the session? So Edureka is very flexible in that if you miss, or for some reason if you are not able to attend any of the training, then you can reschedule it maybe in the next batch, or you can go through the recording later. Okay. Jagdish, yes, it is mandatory to renew your certification every 3 years, else your certification will lapse, and you need to start this process from, okay, you will have 1 year of suspension period during which again you can go and renew it. In case if you don't do that, you will have to start this from this beginning, the green button that you see: attend the PMP examination preparation training and submit your application. Okay, so let me just move to the next slide, and I'm going to answer the remaining questions there. So let me go through the myths first, and then I'll answer the remaining question, because this is the last slide of this webinar. So the first is, aspirants need 35 PDUs to apply for the PMP examination. No. PDUs are needed once you the PMP examination and once you are PMP certified. Before PMP examination, you need to have 35 contact hours. Okay. Another myth around PMP exam is that the passing score is 61%. No, that is not true. From November 2005 onwards, PMI came up with a different approach towards assessing whether the person is qualified or not. And they use a psychometric analysis to calculate the score. There are 3 ratings, that is moderate proficient, proficient, and below proficient. Don't think that, if you got below proficient in one, then you will fail. No. So this assessment, and each question will have a different weightage there. Each question will have a different weightage based on the complexity of the question. And PMI is going to analyze the complexity, and based on that, they are going to give you the ratings. So I have seen, in fact, in certain situations where people got below proficient in 2 modules, but still they were able to clear the examination. Okay, and for PMP examination, memorization is not the key. If you rely completely on memorization, if you feel that you have a photographic memory and you can memorize everything, you go for the examination, the likelihood of you failing the examination will be very high. PMI also put lot of emphasis in understanding the concept, not memorization of the ITO. Of course, you'll get some questions, specific questions that which is the input to this process, output to this process, but most of the questions will be related to how or why a specific ITTO is like input tools and techniques and output is used in a process. Okay, so you really need to understand the concept. Memorization will not help. So there are a lot of myths around it, the PMP question examination. I have captured only few or only top of them. If you have any other doubt or if you have heard of any myth, you can send me a mail. You can send a mail to Edureka's at support@edureka.co, and I will ensure that your queries are being answered.